Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Today we're cracking open a huge cultural code, the American dream, and specifically the one word you should almost never use to describe your own success in American English.
Ooh, a forbidden word? I'm listening.
It's the phrase self-made, as in, I'm a self-made millionaire or I built this company from the ground up, completely self-made.
Wait, but that sounds good, ambitious, strong.
That's what most learners think, and that's the cultural trap. In many cultures, emphasizing that you did it all alone is the ultimate sign of strength and capability. But in mainstream American professional and social culture, calling yourself self-made can actually make you sound out of touch, even arrogant.
Really? But I hear about self-made people all the time in movies, in business articles.
You hear other people calling them that. It's a label others give you as a compliment. It's rarely a label you give yourself. When you claim it for yourself, you're indirectly dismissing every bit of help, luck, mentorship, or support you ever got. And in a culture that values humility and giving credit where credit is due, that's a subtle but major misstep.
Okay, wow. So if I shouldn't say I'm self-made, what do I say when I want to talk about my hard work and achievements? Because I have worked hard.
Fantastic question, Leo. And this is where we get to the real usable language. The magic phrase is often, I was able to, let me set a scene. Imagine you're at a networking event, Leo. Someone asks you, so, how did you start your own design studio? The textbook, direct translation answer might be, well, I'm self-made. I worked 80 hours a week for 5 years with no help.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would have said before this podcast.
Exactly. Now, the more natural, culturally aware answer sounds like this. It was a lot of hard work, for sure. I was able to get it off the ground after saving for a couple of years, and I had an incredible mentor early on who showed me the ropes. I've been really lucky to have great clients from the beginning.
Huh, that sounds nicer, more relatable. But does it still sound strong?
It sounds confident. Confidence doesn't need to shout. It's in the details. I was able to implies capability and achievement, but it leaves room for other factors. You're still the hero of your story, but you're acknowledging the supporting cast. You're showing gratitude, which is a highly valued trait. Let's break down why this works with two real-world examples.
Please.
First, a job interview. The interviewer asks, tell me about a major project you led. The less effective answer, I single-handedly managed the entire launch. The more effective one, I was able to lead the project launch. It was a big team effort. My role was coordinating between marketing and engineering, and we were able to hit our deadline because everyone really pulled together.
So you're still saying I led, but you're framing it within a team context.
Right. Second example, talking to a friend about a fitness goal. Not, I lost 20 pounds completely on my own, no trainer, nothing. Instead, I was able to lose 20 pounds. I found this great online community for recipes, and my friend and I started walking together every morning, which kept me motivated.
I see the pattern. It's not denying your effort. It's just not claiming sole ownership of the success. It feels more generous.
That's a perfect word for it. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. This isn't just about being polite. This ties directly into the modern understanding of the American dream. The old myth was the lone cowboy, the individual pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, completely alone.
Bootstraps. That's another word we hear.
To pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's an idiom that means to improve your situation by your own efforts, with no outside help. But think about it literally. It's physically impossible. You can't lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own bootstraps. The phrase itself hints at the myth.
I never thought of it that way.
The modern reality of the American dream is networked. It's about opportunity, yes, but it's also about who you know, who mentors you, what community supports you. Think about the biggest American success stories today. They almost always thank their early team, their first investor, their family. The narrative is we, not just me. So when you use language that reflects that, like I was able to with the help of, You're signaling that you understand how success actually works here. You sound like an insider.
This is making so much sense. But what are some common mistakes learners make when trying to talk about this?
Great question. A common one, especially for learners from cultures where directness is highly valued, is overusing I statements in a way that sounds boastful. I achieved this, I did that, I made this happen. In English, swapping a few of those for passive constructions, or we can soften it, not I, increased sales by 20%, but sales were able to increase by 20% during the campaign, or we saw a 20% increase.
Okay, what about the opposite mistake? Being too humble and not taking any credit.
Another great point. Yes, especially for learners from some East Asian cultures, the instinct might be to deflect all praise entirely. Oh, it was nothing, it was just luck. In an American context, that can be confusing or even seem like you lack confidence. The sweet spot is in the middle. Acknowledge your role, but share the credit. Thank you. I was really proud of that project. I was able to contribute some ideas on the design, and the whole team did an amazing job with the execution.
That sounds like a balanced professional thing to say.
It is. Now, Leo, I have a challenge for you. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to answer how you used to think you should answer, and then how you'd answer now, using our new lens.
Okay, I'm ready.
Scenario: you just got a promotion. A colleague congratulates you and says, "You must have worked really hard for that." What do you say?
Old me, thanks. Yeah, I've been putting in 12-hour days for months. I really earned this.
Direct and proud. And not totally wrong, but it's a bit me-centric. Now try the new way.
Okay, new me, thank you so much. It was a lot of work, but I was able to learn so much from the team on the last project. My manager gave me some really great opportunities to lead, which helped a lot.
Perfect. You accepted the compliment, you acknowledged the work, and you credited others. You sound like a team player who's also ambitious. That's the golden combo.
This feels like a secret code.
It kind of is. It's the code of conversational humility, and it applies to so many phrases. Instead of, "I know this will work," try, "I believe we can make this work." Instead of, "I have a great idea," try, "I had an idea I wanted to run by you all." You're inviting people in, not declaring from a mountaintop.
This is honestly changing how I think about forming sentences.
Good, because language is culture, and in a few minutes, Leo is going to make the exact mistake 90% of learners make when they first hear this. Stay with us to see if you can catch it.
The pressure is on.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're finding these cultural codes as helpful as Leo is, make sure you're subscribed to Speak Like a Native. We drop new lessons every single day, breaking down exactly these kinds of unspoken rules, so you can communicate with confidence, not just correctness. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss what's next.
And back to the pressure. What's my mistake going to be?
All right, let's test the principle in a different area. Let's talk about small business. Imagine you have a friend who started a bakery. You're telling me about her. What would you say?
Okay, my friend Sarah is amazing. She's completely self-made. She opened her bakery with no loans, no investors, just her own savings. She does everything herself.
Boom, there it is.
What? I was talking about her, not me. I thought that was okay.
It's a very common slip. When you praise someone else by calling them self-made, you're still buying into and reinforcing that lone wolf myth, and you might even be accidentally misrepresenting her story. Maybe a family member watched her kids for free so she could bake at night. Maybe a friend designed her logo. Maybe she got a small grant from the city. By calling her completely self-made, you're erasing all that invisible support. A more accurate and gracious way to praise her would be, "My friend Sarah is amazing. She was able to open her bakery through sheer hustle. She saved for years, and she's built this incredible loyal customer base all by word of mouth. She's so resourceful."
Oh, you're still praising her hard work and savings, the bootstrapping, but you're not making the impossible claim that she did it in a total vacuum.
Exactly. You're praising her actions and her qualities, her hustle, her resourcefulness, which is more meaningful than just labeling her.
Got it. So, to recap before our practice round, avoid claiming self-made for yourself or others. Use "I was able to" or "she was able to frame achievements. And always look for ways to acknowledge help, luck, or teamwork. even subtly.
Beautiful recap, Leo. Now, for our listeners, it's practice time. We're going to do a rapid fire drill. I'll say a common lone wolf style sentence, and I want you and everyone listening to try to rephrase it in your head or out loud using our new principle. Ready?
Ready.
First one, I learned English entirely on my own using apps.
I was able to learn English mainly through language apps, and I picked up a lot from watching movies and talking to people online.
Excellent. You added the other inputs. Next, I fixed my car by myself this weekend.
I was able to fix my car this weekend. I found this really helpful video tutorial online that walked me through it.
Perfect. You credited the tutorial. Last one, he's a genius programmer who built that software alone.
He's a brilliant programmer. He was able to build the core of that software himself, and then he brought on a small team to help with testing and design.
You nailed it. You transformed a statement about isolation into a story about capability and collaboration. That's the shift.
This feels powerful.
It is, because today's rule isn't about hiding your light under a bushel. It's about shining it in a way that illuminates others too, which in turn makes you shine even brighter. So your one memorable takeaway sentence for today is this: swap I did it myself for I was able to, and watch how people respond.
I was able to learn a huge cultural hack today. Thanks, Maya.
Perfect use. Thanks for being such a great student, Leo. And thank you all for listening. Remember, real English is about connection, not just correction. We'll see you in the next episode of Speak Like a Native.